Trust me, I'm a superhero. What's up, yo boys? This is your boy, Metahuman Macaluco, and today, on today's video, we're going to be talking about my top 10 favorite Marvel superheroes. Now, before we get into that, I do want to say one thing. We got the shameless self-promo of the Metahuman mug. You can find it on the Teespring store. Check out the link in the description below. They're quite literally in all my videos now, so there's no reason for you to be missing it. Check out my merch, help your boy out. You already know the drill. Cheers to that. That's Colombian roast. Gotta love it. All right. So, everyone knows Marvel Comics, rival to DC Comics. They've been around since the 1930s. You know, they used to be called Timely Comics, and now they're just bought out by Disney, and Disney chooses to oversaturate them. Granted, the X-Men 97 show is actually phenomenal, but I don't know. I feel like they overdid the Avengers, and now they're just kind of like just trying to push X-Men onto us. And then it's gonna take, you know, another 10 years of just oversaturated X-Men material. But let me not get into my personal opinion about that. Let's talk about my top 10 favorite Marvel characters. Now, first one on my list is none other than the Incredible Hulk at number 10. Bruce Banner. Alright, we all know Bruce, we all love Bruce, we all love when he turns into the big green hulking monster who is able to utilize his superhuman strength and quite literally avoid all nuclear radiation just because he's a big glowing radioactive monster. Not in the same sense as Radioactive Man, the villain himself, but Hulk has some moments in the comics that, you know, I do appreciate, such as World War Hulk, right? And Immortal Hulk. If you haven't read Immortal Hulk, that is gas. So that's number 10. Number 9 is another X-Men fan favorite, Wolverine. James Howlett, also known as Logan. You already know his deal. Canadian, mutant. Not really a mutant. He's actually a wolf hybrid person who evolved from wolves. I'm trying to remember what run that was. He ended up discovering this by fighting his new arch nemesis, Romulus. Big shout out to Logan. Big shout out to Wolverine and the X-Men. Probably one of the few X-Men characters that I do appreciate other than Colossus and Cable. But let's not get into that. Maybe I'll make a top 10 X-Men video at some point in the future and a top 10 Avengers video. But let's stop right here and get into Marvel. Right? That was number 9. Number 8 is Ghost Rider. Now, depending on what version you personally like, I'm a huge Johnny Blaze fan. Don't get me wrong, Daniel Ketch does have his moments as well, but Johnny Blaze is the titular Ghost Rider. He will always be Ghost Rider in my eyes. Despite the fact that during the 90s, when Daniel Ketch was still acting as Ghost Rider, Johnny Blaze was still running around about with the Midnight Suns, messing other nightmares creatures up with Blade, Daniel Ketch Ghost Rider, and Doctor Strange. So whatever you want to say about Ghost Rider, go ahead. The dude did one hit freaking Galactus in the Fantastic Four cartoon. Everyone knows that pen and stare is scary. Very scary stuff, you know. If you were just out here being an overall horrible person sinning, you probably deserve to get decimated by Ghost Rider. Number 7 has to be Luke Cage. One of 2 of the heroes for hire. Now, Luke Cage has an ability that allows his skin to not be penetrated, whether it be by bullets, knives, so forth and so on. The only thing he can really be killed by is adamantium, which is kind of upsetting because that just goes to show that if Wolverine really did want to, he could obliterate Luke Cage. That's actually very upsetting. I wouldn't want that at all. I'd actually be crying if that happened. But Luke Cage is a cool guy. all around. He's a detective, private investigator, martial artist learning under his boy Danny. Now, speaking of Daniel Rand, we're going to get into number 6. Iron Fist, the other half of the Heroes for Hire. Now, Iron Fist, I think, is a little bit cooler than Luke Cage. And, I'm glad they're like this and they're buddies, but the thing with Iron Fist is that his powers are ridiculous, bro. He's got chi manipulation, martial artist extraordinaire, and it's not like he learned the martial arts overnight. He quite literally had to slay a dragon to get his powers. Can you imagine? That's your superhero story. You don't have any powers, but you have to slay a dragon in order to get powers, and now you're out here with powers whooping everyone's ass. That's based. Iron Fist is honestly such a cool fucking character. Anyway, number 5, Daredevil. Yes, sir, the blind lawyer, Daredevil, Matt Murdock. Now, Daredevil has a lot of more introspective storylines that don't really have to necessarily deal with so much as the action. I mean, a lot of comics do this and a lot fail, but for a reason, almost 87% of Daredevil's storylines are all like this, and they're almost always phenomenal, and I love it. Whether it's Frank Miller's run or whether it's the newer run, whether it's Shadowland, you can't go wrong with, Daredevil. You really can't go wrong with Daredevil at all. Bro knows Kali. Bro's dealing with the Kingpin on the personal level, not like SpiderMan. But yeah, man. Gotta give it to Daredevil. Number 4 on this list is none other than Moon Knight. Now, if you guys seen the Disney adaptation, it's actually pretty good. I was initially reluctant to watch it, but a friend of mine kind of forced me to sit there and watch it because he likes these oversaturated Marvel movies for some reason. But I digress. Moon Knight himself is actually a pretty popular character, and for good reason. Bro is the literal avatar of Khonshu, an Egyptian god of the moon, which quite literally enhances Moon Knight's superhuman strength, superhuman speed, everything else. And, it really pisses me off when some non-comic book nerd looks at him and says, "Oh, that's just Batman." No. He's nothing like Batman. 0% anything like Batman. Batman is not an avatar of an Egyptian god. Batman is a detective who lives by his fears. This is Moon Knight. Bro is literally powered by the moon. And he's also schizophrenic, and he sometimes has hallucinations of seeing Captain America, Spider-Man, and Wolverine. And they all kind of come in and give him advice, which kind of ballistic, but hey man, as long as he's not doing anything else, he's out here saving lives, whether it be New York or in LA. Mark Spector, pretty cool guy. So that's number 4. Number 3 on my list is going to have to be none other than the God of Thunder himself, Thor. Now everyone knows Thor Odinson, son of Odin. Dude has had quite a bit of a family feud with his brother Loki, and sometimes with his father, but not really. The thing that I like about Thor is that, yes, he is an Asgardian deity who does come down from the heavens to help out, but with certain storylines when it comes to Thor, we get to see him in a more humane light, and it's phenomenal to see, because it's like, dude, I'm so glad we have an actual thunder god protecting people. And there's just little moments where he comes down and saves a monk from getting drowned, and the monk thanks him for answering his prayers, and Thor's like, yo, that's my responsibility, my literal responsibility to answer the prayers of everyone. So shit like that just gives me quite the giggles and a big old shit-eating grin, let me tell you. Number 2 on this list is going to be none other than the cosmic being himself, the Silver Surfer. Now, for those who don't know about Silver Surfer, his name is Norrin Radd, and he is from the planet Zenn-La. Now, Silver Surfer was just a regular dude chilling on this planet. You know, he's no different than a normal human. Chilling. He gets turned into a Herald of Galactus because Galactus decides to choose his planet of Zenn-La. And it didn't matter anyway because Galactus ended up consuming his planet, making Silver Surfer a herald of him, and now this dude goes around the entire universe telling people, yo, Galactus is going to come through and do this. Please be prepared. And yeah, and going back to the whole Daredevil thing, it's even though he's a super cosmic being who is powered by the power cosmic itself, he does have a lot of introspective storylines. And honestly, dudes, that's something you should read. Any Silver Surfer comic you get your hands on, please immediately read. And he's especially phenomenal in the Infinity Gauntlet, the original Infinity Gauntlet, not this movie that came out. Nothing wrong against the movie. It's probably the last good Marvel movie that Disney will ever pop out. Anyways, Shell Boys, before we get to the number 1, my personal number 1, let's list down some honorable mentions. And those would be Blade, Doctor Strange, War Machine, Black Panther, Nova, Night Thrasher. Not a lot of you don't know about Night Thrasher. Blue Marvel, Beast, Colossus, and Cable. Those are my honorable mentions. Now, my number 1, and it really should have been obvious, because he's like the poster boy of Marvel. Spider-Man. Why Spider-Man? And why Spider-Man specifically? Well, the thing about Spider-Man is that no matter who you are as a person, literally doesn't matter who you are, man, woman, white, black, etc. Spider-Man is written in a way that we as all collectively can relate to. Okay, bro's got his own set of insecurities. Bro's not entirely comfortable going out his way to, you know, risk his neck to save lives, to fight villains, basic superhero stuff. What makes Spider-Man so unique is his relatability, because it's not like Batman or Superman or everyone else who, you know, they're not the same as Spider-Man. Spider-Man is an actual person despite having powers. Fair to say that he spawned a long lineage of just everyone trying to do the good thing, and like his uncle told him, you know, he has the responsibility of doing good in this world. With great power comes great responsibility. And that is essentially my top 10 favorite Marvel superheroes. Now, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I will be back soon. We have a whole month ahead of us of just fun goodness. And yeah, dudes, this is your boy Metahuman out. Like, comment, subscribe. You already know the drill. Peace.